So let us study about the last part of this solid state, that is called imperfections in solids. So this is a subtopic of the solids, and you know that in a crystalline solids, so they will be having both short range order as well as the long range order also. So what happens, however, the crystals are going to be called as sometimes imperfect, or I mean not perfect. Why they are not perfect, or we are going to use called word imperfect? So due to the reason that they are going to be this some of the constant particles what they are arranged in the systematic row, they will be called dislocation will takes place. It means they are going to moving from its normal position to some other places. It is going to occupy some other positions from its normal positions, that due to these impurities takes place. So that's why we are going to study the topic imperfections in the solids, how it is going to be happens. Let us see here. So let's take a definition of this imperfect or crystal defect. We are going to call the defect. I mean defect will takes place in the crystal particles. That is called crystal defect or imperfections. Any deviations or departure from perfectly ordered arrangement of the constituent particles in a crystal. I mean the particles means they are arranged in a systematic place, right? So what happens in a arranged in a systematic way in the normal arrangement? So they are going to take departure from, I think it is going to move in some other place, that is called dislocation. So what happens that times defect will take place. That defect we are going to call as the crystal defect or imperfections. And here in this crystal defect or imperfections, we are going to classify as the two types. That is called point defect and line defect. Point defect and line defect. So let's take a definition of this point defect. So defined as the defect which is going to be occur in the point defect at a specific point of a crystal. Means not only all the it is not going to point defect means which is not going to affect all the entire row particles, only at a specific rate, that we are going to a specific place we are going to call as the point defect. So the second one, line defect. Line defect means it's opposite to the point defect. I mean the irregularities takes place from the ideal arrangements in the entire row of the lattice point. So in the systematic arranged part of that crystal particles, the entire row will be which is going to takes dislocation or departure or irregularities will take place, that we are going to call as the line defect. And here this point defects again we are going to classify as mainly. So that is a stoichiometric defect. Second one is non-stoichiometric defect. Third one is impurity defect. So in the imperfection solids, so these three plays a very important role and a very important concept will be there. So these we have to study in detail. So that is called first one, stoichiometric defect. In stoichiometric defects, so let us see the definition. So if the stoichiometry of the crystals, so how the crystals will be there? So that is called the ratio of the number of constituent particles which is going to be remains undisturbed. So such point defects we are going to call as the stoichiometric or thermodynamic or intrinsic defect. So let's see this figure we are going to understand here. So according to the stoichiometric defects, it tells that so some of the ratios of the some of the constant particles which are going to be unaffected, that is called undisturbed or unaffected. So you can see these are the called as constituent particles. I am telling an example. So these are the systematic arrangement. So this is one row, this is one row. Total three rows will be there. So they are in a systematic arrangement. So what happens in between them? One, first position, second position, third and fourth positions. They are going to be called the vacant. They are going to be called as the vacated. So but what about the remaining constituent particles which are remain undefected or undisturbed or unaffected? So that is called the stoichiometric defect. And here also in stoichiometric defect we are going to classify here one by one. So first one, let us see this one, vacancy defect. Vacancy defect means, so you can see here. So these are the systematic arrangement of the constituent particles. Some of the sites which is going to be called vacated, right? So that is called the vacant defects. So let's see the definition. When some of the lattice sites are vacant, so then the crystal is said to have the vacancy defect. You can see this figure. And what happens in this case of this vacancy defect, decrease in the density of the substance. So what happens, that the density will be goes on decreases here, and also this defect also develop when the substance is going to be heated. So before going to be vacated this one, so these are called the constituent particles. When you are going to heated this entire test points, so some of them going to get the vacant sites. So that is called the vacancy defect. Second one called interstitial defect. So how did this takes place? Let's see here. When some extra constituent particles which are going to be occupy this interstitial site. So you can see here. So this is a systematic arrangement of the rows of the constituent particles. This is first row, this is second row, and this is third row. So in between these three rows, some of these extra constituent particles which are going to be occupy here like this here. In between these two rows, which is going to occupy some extra constituent particles, we are going to call as the interstitial defect. And here what happens, when the extra constituent particles which are goes on increases, this total volume will be remains same, but mass will be goes on increases. When the mass increases, density also increases. So that is called density of the crystal here, which is going to be increases. Whereas in vacancy defect, some of the vacant space will be there. So that what happens, mass has going to be reduced there. So that's why density also reduced there. But this is here density will be increases. And also vacancy and interstitial defects are explained by non-ionic solids. So these two effects which will becomes under the non-ionic solids. Let's discuss about the remaining two defects. So those are very important. This is called Schottky defect and Frenkel defect. So let us study simultaneously. So in Schottky defects, we are going to see this one. So these two defects which are going to shown by the ionic solids, whereas vacancy defect and interstitial defects which are going to be shown by the non-ionic solids. So these comes under the ionic solids, because when you look at the examples, so these are called the ions, right? I mean salt formation. That is nothing but the ions. So here also ion. So that's why these two defects which are shown by the ionic solids. Let us study here. So when you look at this box, so systematic representation of the constituent particles will be there. So that is called cation, anion. So these are mentioned by the alternatively. So what you are going to missing here? So that is called here the plus minus here minus. So here plus is going to be missed here. Similarly, after the plus minus. So equal number. This one number of the cation and this number of the anion which is going to be missed. So when you look at this picture, the definition does that then equal number of cation and equal number of the anions. That is here one cation and one anion, both are missing. So why they are missing? In order to maintain the electrical neutrality. So that's why they are missing. So that is called the Schottky defect. What about this one? When you look at these pictures, so see here. So plus minus alternate system will be there. So what happens here? So this cation which is gets dislocated. So this defect mainly called vacancy defect, and this defect is mainly does the interstitial side defect will be there. So what happens? So this located from this cation which is going to dislocate it, and it occupies the interstitial side, right? The smaller ion is cation. Always see here. This is cation and this is anion, and see here also Na plus and Cl minus. So Na plus is an cation, Cl minus is an anion. So because of the size, when you look at these sizes, fluorine has a bigger size, right? So that's why anions are in bigger size. But here smaller ion, that is called cation, which is going to be dislocated from its normal side to an interstitial side, right? So that is going to be called as the Frenkel defect. And second differences. So when what happens, when they are missing, right, equal number of cations and anions which is going to missing, what happens? The mass of that containing which is going to decreases. When the mass decreases, the density of the substance which is going to also decreases. But what about this one? Here the mass will be remain same. Why? Because just it has dislocated from this position to this position, means the remaining number of cations and anions will be same ratio, right? So that's why there is no change in density of the crystal. And let's see the examples for this one. That is Schottky defect, NaCl, KCl, cesium chloride, that is called CaCl, and this is the silver chloride, silver bromide, silver iodide, and zinc sulfide. These are the examples for this Frenkel defect. So these differences are very important to the examination point of view. Let us discuss about the second one, that is called non-stoichiometric defects. So here in this non-stoichiometric defects means, so just I take a simple example. So write simple explanation. So now I am going to take the ratios of the cations and anions. C stands for cation, A stands for the anion. So if I take this number around, this is a 10 cations and 10 anions. So now this ratio is, we are going to call as the stoichiometric ratio. Suppose if I am going to increase, I am going to decrease this number, right? 1, this is 9 and this is 10, or this may be 10 or this may be 9. So these ratio we are going to call as the non-stoichiometric ratio or non-stoichiometric defect, which is going to be excited by the metals. So like this. So this is called the ratio will be same. That is called the stoichiometric ratio. Stoichiometric defect will be there. So if the ratio is not in proper manner, right? So here the cations and anions ratio is not same, right? So that's why this is called non-stoichiometric, and this defect shown by the metals, that is called non-stoichiometric defects. And here this non-stoichiometric defect mainly classified as here. So types here. One is metal excess defect, another is metal deficiency effect. Metal deficiency. So as the name indicates, excess means more in number of the metals, deficiency means less number of the metal. That is right. So in that one, so here again two types will be there. So first one we will discuss here, the metal excess due to the anionic vacancies. It's very interesting, due to the anionic vacancies. Suppose first you count the here how many Na plus and how many Cl minus will be there. That is called 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean number of cations and number of anions. Cation will be 6. What about anions? Anions also 6, right? So he is going to tell metal excess due to this one. So now I am going to vacate this one. Now I am going to vacate this one. That is called, this is vacant space. Now it is going to called as metal excess, because now count this number, cation will be 6. What about anion? Because I have reduced one, that becomes number 5, right? So 6 cations, 5 anions means, so this is called now metal will be the excess. How do you say metal? So this is, so like here, this is metal, right? When it loses the electrons, now it becomes like this form. So metal loses one electron, it becomes M plus, right? Like this I am going to write here, because metals are the highly electropositive. So that's why I am going to write in the cation ratio, cation and anion like this. Because anions which get an electron, right? That is called Cl minus. And here excess will be in the number of metals, so that's why it is named called metal excess. And due to the vacancy which is going to be created by the anion, so that's why its name is called metal excess due to the anionic vacancies. And what makes it get to vacant? So that is very interesting. So this is a sodium crystal. So this sodium crystal, which is the under the heat, we are going to use the sodium lamp, sodium vapors. Sodium lamp is, sodium vapors will be coming and attack here. That is called sodium vapors. These are going to attack the sodium crystal lattice. Right? What happens when the energy will be there? Right? Sodium is vapors means there will be the form of heat. Heat is nothing but the energy. So what happens that this sodium, which is going to lose this one electron. So this Na plus will be formed by losing the one electron, which will be present around the surface of this sodium crystal. And at the same time, at the meantime, what happens if the Cl minus in this sodium crystal, which is going to be diffused out, which is going to be eliminated out. So that's why here creating the vacancy, that is vacancy created by this anionic. And this Cl minus which comes out here, out of this sodium crystal, now it is going to make the bond with this Na plus. This Na plus is nothing but the sodium vapor. Now it will be eliminated as the NaCl, right? So this is called metal excess defect. But what about electrical neutrality? Electrical neutrality is nothing but the number of positive charge that must be equal to number of negative charge. Right? You have seen some of the defects, right? If the missing cations, right? Missing cations, the number of missing cation, then it is equal to number of missing anion, that becomes the electrical neutrality is very good. But what about here? The electrical neutrality is not good. So that's why, because you can see here, number of positive ions, 1, 2, 3, 6 will be there. What about the number of negative ions here? So 5 will be there. I mean, 1 is less. one is less because of the it is not going to be takes place for the electrical neutrality. So what happens, this electron which is going to be emitted from the sodium, which is going to occupy its position, now it becomes 5, becomes 6. So count here, positive charge, 6 positive charge and 1 electron will be there, 6 negative charge. Now the electrical neutrality is good. But when you count these metals, so metals will be higher in number rather than this anions. So that's why its name is going to be called as metal excess due to the anionic vacancy. And also one more interesting that, so this center we are going to call as the F center. This we are going to call as the F center because this vacant space which is going to be occupied by the electron, right? Which is this space, vacant space which is going to be occupied by an electron. That's why you are going to call as the F center. But what happens when you see this NaCl crystals? NaCl is nothing but the salt, right? So salt that is called white color, I mean colorless. White color or colorless. But what happens after this occupation of one electron? Now this color becomes the yellow color. Now this color becomes the yellow color. Initially it was in white color or colorless. So after the electrons which occupied this vacant space, now it becomes the yellow color. Similarly, we can take the example for the lithium chloride. Lithium chloride also. So this is also comes under the metal excess defect, and also this shows the pink color. This shows the pink color because of the F center, that is called like this. This will be also formed here. Just imagine, instead of Na plus, Li plus will be there. Instead of Cl minus, Cl minus will be there. So this is also exhibit the F center. That's why its color is going to called as the pink color. So this is called metal excess defect.